that's what. Hi everybody, it's Mildred Dillon, CPA and founder of The Money Doctor. And I just wanted to check in on a Finance Friday. I've been doing quite a few trainings since November about financial statements and how to read them and the purpose for those. So what I want to do today is just share with you a few tips and strategies overall, but you want to make sure that you've got financial statements. Now, what are financial statements? They're basically three reports. One, the profit and loss, is all about the money that came in, the money that went out. The other main one is a balance sheet, and you probably heard of those two. We do more training on those in other places. That profit and loss, which should feed into a tax return, meaning they're saying the same thing for the most part or close to it. Gross income is not taking into account deductions. It's not taking into account what it's costing you to make that money. This is strictly what you collected. Now, let me give you an example. The 1099s that came in the mail just within the last month or so, they have on it gross amounts. If it's a 1099, no taxes were taken out, nothing's been paid on your behalf into the tax system, and so you're 100% responsible for it. And so now when you're filing taxes, that's when now we factor in and start reducing that gross income to a net amount. And that's what we pay taxes on, maybe even self-employment tax, depending on how our business is set up. And let me just, because I know I have individuals who also follow the page. If you're an individual and you're getting a W-2 in the mail, you know that number you see on there and you're like, huh? I don't remember making this much money. Happens all the time. Hey, been there myself years ago. It's like, what happened? I didn't make this kind of money. Yeah, you did, but you didn't get to touch it. You didn't get to feel it because taxes came out. They were sent in, look, on your behalf. You know, one of my favorite sayings is, don't do me no favors. Don't take my money and send it in. But by law, they have to do it, your employers. And so that's what's happening there. So no, you don't have full control of your money all year like the 1099 worker does or contractor. 1099 contractor is typically what it's called. Matter of fact, officially the independent contractor or business owner. So there's the difference. You're making the same amount, but you're controlling different amounts depending on the tax situation. But here's the thing, the gross amount or the net amount. Notice I'm doing this because they start. The gross amount is this top number. Then you take all your deductions, mileage, office expense, uniforms, payroll. All of these expenses come off of that to give you a net. And that's what you want to pay taxes on, small business owner, independent contractor. You don't want to pay taxes on the gross, okay? Unless you need to. And we might need to show more income. You might have heard that before if you've used tax returns to try to qualify for things and they say you don't make enough money. You probably grossed enough. Look, I'm doing this again. You probably started off with a high number, but you deducted too much stuff. Maybe even worse, went negative so you could get credits. Not going to pick on them right here, but you got to show money and the ability to pay it back if you want to get loans. That's just how it works. You need to know what your total gross receipts are. Not just know it. It needs to be in a financial report. It needs to be on a profit and loss that says sales or says income, or like a call I just had with a client, because we're going to be meeting back up right after this to look at her financials. I told her I'm a fan of detail. I don't like to just see income. I want to see all the different ways the income came in. But guess what? So do the bankers. So do lenders. They want to see that kind of detail as well. But at least you want to know what that number is. And then, yes, that same system should be keeping track of all those deductions, all those things that we can deduct, because unlike the W-2 worker, sorry, we can pay tax on this lower amount, not the higher amount, which is what W-2 workers are paying taxes on. Isn't that so unfair? Think about that. And that's coming from a business owner. But I also do taxes for individuals, years of doing taxes for individuals, corporations, nonprofits, all of those. I see the disparity in how income is treated. And let's face it, I'm not the first to tell you, it's for our advantage, okay, to do that. It's our right. Matter of fact, it's the law. It's a legal right. It's a reward, is what I like to call it, that IRS gives us when we take on the risk, because there's risk involved, of running a business, and those are called deductions. So I wanted to get you thinking, because if you know you don't know your gross receipts, if you don't know that number, start working on it, because that's what we need to know. That's the starting point, the gross receipts, meaning you don't have a system in place. Yeah, you could add up all the 1099s you got in the mail, but let me tell you something. Some people still aren't sending them out. So you could underreport your income, and we don't want that. That could be trouble. So we definitely want to have our own system and have those forms kind of back us up, be backup with what they are. We want to be able to do that. So if you don't have that in place, reach out to me. Now, here are the next steps. If you need help on that. And then, of course, the taxes. Same calls that I'm having today. I'm going to send you to the website, my yourmoneydr.com. So I'm going to put the link in the notes of how to get to that. And if you need anything at all, we've got instructions at the end of the article on what next steps you can take. All right, so I'm going to sign off and say make it a great day, especially for your money. Thanks for watching. Leave me a comment. I'd love to get those. If you've got a question, post that. I'll get the alert, and we can go back and forth that way. But till next time, have a great weekend, and we'll see you soon.